On Monday, headlines blared with the news that two homes belonging to hip-hop mogul Sean "Diddy" Combs were being raided by law enforcement. This news came a few months after a bombshell lawsuit accusing Combs of sexual assault was filed by his former girlfriend, a seemingly dam-breaking moment that led to a number of other women and a man Combs recently worked with filing similar suits of their own. Combs has denied all wrongdoing. Since Monday, various incongruous reports surrounding the reasons for the raids, Combs' whereabouts, and information on other involved players were released, making it hard to parse what we actually know. No possible plea can save Diddy to face sex trafficking charges with a minimum punishment of 10 to 15 years in prison on one count, a legal expert warned. Nima Remini, an attorney who is not affiliated to the case in any way, told Us Weekly on Tuesday, March 26th, that Combs could face arrest in the coming days following a slew of sex trafficking allegations. Under federal law, if someone is convicted of even one count of sex trafficking, it carries a minimum 10 or 15-year prison sentence, minimum. The judge can't go any lower for each count depending on the age of the victim, she said. Alluding to the possibility of Combs, also known as P. Diddy, 54, getting arrested, Ramani voiced her thoughts. "I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy is arrested in the coming days or weeks and he's going to have to face these charges." Quashing any possibility that the rapper might dodge the punishment if these mere allegations would be proved, she claimed, "There's no possible plea that is going to get him off with a slap on the wrist or probation." Ramani added, "If the prosecutors are successful and able to prove it, he may end up dying in prison." Notably, these remarks by the legal expert come hot on the heels of the Monday raids that the law enforcement did at two of Diddy's homes, surged from a federal sex trafficking investigation. While the full and lengthy story of the numerous allegations against Diddy is still unfolding, it's worth noting that the majority of the suits against Diddy were launched last year after his former girlfriend, the singer Cassie, sued Combs in federal court on November 16th on various claims of sexual assault and intimidation. Though that suit was settled out of court the following day? Yes, you read that correctly. 3 more suits were subsequently filed by women who similarly accused Combs of various sex crimes including rape and sex trafficking. The first 3 suits, including Cassie's, were filed in rapid succession due to the impending November 24th deadline for New York's Adult Survivors Act, which, for 1 year, extended the statute of limitations for adult victims to pursue legal action against their alleged abusers to 20 years. On December 6th, the 4th lawsuit, from a Jane Doe, was filed under a similar yet different New York City piece of legislation called the Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Act. However, this was not the end of the hip-hop artist's mounting legal trouble. A month ago, on February 26th, the producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones Jr. alleged in a 73-page legal filing with photographs and graphic details that, among other non-sexual offenses, Combs drugged, threatened, and sexually harassed him while they were working on Combs' 2023 album The Love Album, Off the Grid. In a statement made to The Times, Combs' lawyer, Sean Hawley, stated that Lil Rod is nothing more than a liar, calling the producer's allegations pure fiction, and claiming that they have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his assertions are fabricated. However, this did not stop Jones Jr., who amended his federal complaint on Monday to also accuse actor Cuba Gooding Jr. of sexual assault and harassment while on Combs' yacht. The Department of Homeland Security, which does, with varying degrees of controversiality, mainly concern itself with issues such as terrorism, immigration, disaster prevention, and cybersecurity, is also responsible for combating human trafficking, with the Center for Countering Human Trafficking falling under DHS purview. This isn't too surprising considering many human trafficking cases involve plenty of the DHS interests, from border security to anti-terrorism. Similarly, Homeland Security was involved in the investigation against R&B singer R. Kelly that led to his 2022 conviction. NewsNation is even reporting that the federal case against Combs is directly modeled after the R. Kelly case, though I have yet to see that corroborated in print. Tabloids, which were tracking Combs' private jet, reported that the plane landed on the Caribbean island of Antigua, though it was initially unclear whether Combs was on it or not. Because of this, the rumor mill began churning out a narrative in which Combs would have tried to escape to the island, but no less a source than the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda nipped the rumor in the bud by telling Newsweek what other reports also started to state. He was not on the jet. This narrative never entirely squared away anyway, considering Antigua does have an extradition treaty with the U.S. However, it didn't help the rumor mill that Combs' children were in one place, his private jet in another, and he was apparently in neither of those locations. As of right now, Combs' private jet is no longer available to track on the site FlightAware, though it is not uncommon for celebrities to request the tracking info of their jets to be withheld from these public flight databases. While news of the raids was releasing and the Antigua speculation was unfolding, Combs was spotted by TMZ milling around the Miami Opa-locka Executive Airport. The New York Post reported that Combs was allegedly about to board a different private jet from Miami. Per USA Today, a man named Brendan Paul, whom Jones Jr. alleges to be Combs' drug mule, was arrested by law enforcement at Opa-locka Executive Airport on felony charges for possession of suspected cocaine and possession of suspected marijuana candy. According to Jones Jr.'s lawsuit, the former Syracuse University basketball player procured, transported, and distributed ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, mushrooms, and 2C. Paul has since been released on a $2,500 bond. TMZ has footage of Combs walking around the airport and speaking to law enforcement, but the timeline is murky. Some of the tabloids' reports claim that Combs was with his family when he was approached by Homeland Security and questioned. Some of the tabloids' reports allege that the photographed exchange with law enforcement occurred moments before Paul was arrested. Page 6 is reporting that Combs was planning on traveling with his twin daughters to the Bahamas on the day of the raids. Neither Combs' intentions for being at the airport, the timeline of Paul's arrest, whether Paul's arrest even has anything to do with the raids, nor who exactly was with Combs when he was stopped at the airport, has been verified. However, reports, subsequently supported by an official statement from Combs' attorney, state that the mogul was not arrested or charged when stopped by law enforcement, nor was his travel restricted.